Her main areas of interest cover the concepts of dignity as social construct, collective imaginary, sociology of emotions, and therapeutic writing. I read her book and I hope her book will be soon translated in English because it's a wonderful book. And actually the book addresses both audiences, at least two audiences, the American and the Romanian alike. First of all, her book is a wonderful combination between two voices. It's her Romanian-born voice, talking with great nostalgia about her youth, her childhood, her parents and neighbors, customs that she witnessed as a child. And then there is a second voice, the voice of Anca in the US, who tries to find and to make a room here, a place for herself here. And she tries to understand the culture, and she's writing. She's writing because writing is her only way through which she can understand what's going on in her mind, soul, and around herself. And she goes back and she starts commenting interesting proverbs in Romanian. Some of them have a correspondent in English, but not all of them. But for a translator will be a challenge, but I am telling you, her style is a treat. Truly a feast for everybody who can read her very poetic narrative. Anca is from the same part of Romania that Augustin just told you, Dobrogea. And it's a very special part of the country that looks quite similar with the landscape here. And that's why I'm telling you, we'll do our best to translate Anca's book and for you to read it.
36, 38.
Do you need to do this in public?
What? I didn't even start. I think it was 81, so
Yeah, it was
37
81 for
years.
sure.
We published in the same culture journal, I remember that. It was a page of poetry. She was first, I was second. I was a guy. And she was from Constanța, from the, let's say, the capital city of Dobrogea. I was from Tulcea, which is up north. It's a town, it's not a city. So I was second. And the title was, I don't know how to translate this in English, Mlădițe Dobrogene.
Oh, Twigs of Dobrogea. Twigs, like,
Twigs.
you know, youth.
So whenever we meet, I said, ce faci mlădiță, bine mlădiță, and so on, you know.
So, what are you doing with the you twig?
So that's, we are that long time friends, you know. It's a lifetime. That's one thing I wanted to tell you about. The second thing is that Anca never ceases to surprise me. Whenever you thought that you know something about Anca Mizumschi, she's writing a book which is, or she's doing something like she's leaving Romania.
It's because I can get easily bored, so I don't
Yeah.
want
She left Romania now, and she's here, which is interesting. And so she gave me the book, said, "Listen, you are going to come in fall, and you're probably going." And I read the book, and I remember, and I have to share this with you because it's kind of like the experience. Well, of course, the experiences of being a child in Dobrogea, I knew very well because it was the same environment. It's the same grass. It's the same, I don't know, ancient Greek cities, and so on and so forth. So, and even the recipes, she's telling a recipe of barbecue. It's not barbecue, it's a
Lamb. Lamb
strange,
barbecue.
man. I have to share this
but
with you.
very-
Have you ever, Romanians?
Yeah, we are.
Berbec hydrocest. Berbec hydrocest. So you dig a hole,
Varianta hawaiană de la
Yes.
probably.
like a luau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luau.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
And
very
it
similar.
explodes.
We have something
And it
similar.
explodes.
Yeah.
You know? So she's describing this process in the book. And I remember that. I mean, it was like smelling it doesn't smell really well at the beginning, but the meat is
But
wonderful.
the taste is amazing.
The taste is amazing. We never live for good, we never arrive for good. We are spread along those trajectories of migration going back and forth. So really I think the concept of place is now replaced, especially in the case of Romania's second largest desertion of a country after Syria.
But Syria is in at war.
Okay? This is weird, man. So, good luck with your life here and so on and so forth, but that country has a problem back there. We cannot all live. So living along trajectories, I go back and forth, I come to the United States, I love it, I love being here, I go back to my students, I send them abroad, I ask them to return, they don't. So it's like that nowadays. And she's struggling with this. Okay, she's now abroad, and this is her home. And she's talking about the home that she left home, so to speak. Okay, it's a painful book. It's a painful country too, but it's a painful book. If you can read it, if you know Romanian, read it. Especially if you live in this, so you are in a way connected to Romania and to this place. It's going to ask you questions. It's not going to give you any answer. Trust me. She's not giving you any answer.
It is not intended.
Exactly.
I came here almost 3 years ago in November, in Portland, Oregon. I swear I didn't know where is Oregon on the map before coming here, and I didn't Google it. And my husband came from California, so actually both of us, we didn't know anybody here. And very soon, I think after 1 or 2 months, I heard something. I didn't know what is it. That there is a castle, this was the definition, of the Queen Mary. So in one weekend, we came here, it was January or February, it was very dark. I came here, it was this kind of landscape you all can see, and it was winter and it was a lot of rain. And we entered it, and the first things that I saw were a map of Romania Mare, the map of Romania between First World War and the Second one, and her books. And I started crying and crying and crying because my first contact with America, with United States and Oregon, actually, it was Queen Mary of Romania. And it was a bridge, it was like an epiphany. I didn't know why I have to live in Oregon, but because she was here, for me, everything, it started to have a sort of meaning. The second thing about Queen Romania I want to share with you is because my book is about identity and exile, is to imagine what was in her heart. So she was the granddaughter of Queen Victoria. She was royal. I suppose she was spoiled because she had a very nice childhood. And somebody is giving you a little poor country in Europe. And they said, this is your country, you have a responsibility. The way that this woman felt that she was responsible for this country, for her little tiny country, which was actually not her country, for me it's a model, I don't know, probably it's the most strong moral model that I can find at this moment in the recent history of Romania. Imagine, if you receive tomorrow
such a huge responsibility. You are not prepared for it. You are only 17 when you married. And they say, this is your country, do something. Do something good, be constructive. Even the the popular costume of Romania, because she was actually in love with the folk costume of Romanian folk costume, and she had a lot of them. She started to wear them at the royal court in Bucharest, and all the ladies from the high society started to wear them. So I don't know what it was in her heart, I don't know what it was in her mind, but the way that she took the burden of leading a country, for me it was a most splendid sacrifice, because I am sure it was not easy, that a person can make in a life. Now, just very few words about the book. When I was home, I complained every day. If you know Romanian, you will find easily that complaining is a national sport. Everybody is complaining 24/7. I was very good at it. So when I was home, I was champion. I was complaining of everything. Dust, noise, traffic, weather, lack of education of the people, everything. For me it was just a source. Since I live here, I stopped complaining. Why? Because when you live in your natural environment, you have a kind of reflexes. Some of them are inherited. Some of them are unconscious. You don't even think about them. When somebody is changing the environment and you can see from the distance the place you have been before, you start to think about it in a more conscious way. For example, I have to think very much which is the meaning of my life and my role and how Romanian I am. In what way am I Romanian? Because when you come here and you live in a multicultural culture, and you start to meet people from many cultures and many environments, you start to think about your role, the meaning of your life, and where is your place. And when I was home, I didn't used to analyze the relationship with my country. And this is an exercise that I would advise everyone to do. Analyze the relation that you have with your country and with your culture. So, briefly, my book is an exercise of honesty. It's my analyze of me being Romanian and in the same time being citizen of the planet. It's also my exercise of understanding my responsibility towards being Romanian, what I want to do and what I can do in this context. And I think that this kind of trajectories, like Augustin used to say, they are emphasizing our hunger for meaning. Being here, you have to understand exactly who you are, because otherwise you can be lost. And for this, at least, I am grateful that I was here, that I have the peace of mind to write this book, that I could compare the cultures. And I think at the end of the day, the honesty with ourselves and it's very difficult for me to find the words, because I don't want you to think that my book is critical or it's sad or it's something like this. It's it's your opinion. Okay, let's say something. My book is just an exercise of honesty, which I would advise anyone to make. And I think that it is very important, especially for a person who is living in different culture, to understand. And this is why the title of the book is My Suspended Land, because it's the land that I have suspended in me, I have taken with me when I left. And it also the huge temptation on going back to the